Hey YouTube, this is Black Hawk Thunder, and today I'm bringing you a video of my opinion and just overall reflection on the 2014 VGAs. But before I get into that, here's some Secret Ponchos. I'll just give you some of my impressions of this game so far. So it's pretty neat. I saw it first at the 2013 E3s, and they said it was going to come free to PlayStation Plus when it came out, so it's out now. And it's not actually quite what I thought it was. I thought it was going to have some single-player stuff, but it's actually a multiplayer isometric shooter thing. So, and it's like Wild West style. So, anyways, first of all, you have five characters to pick from, and you even get to create your own name that will be used in the online matchmaking lobbies for it, which is kind of cool. So it shows your ID, online ID, but then you can also make up a name. And for me, I put Death Dealer, which I thought was cool because, of course everybody's gonna expect me to be really good after that. But anyways, it's really cool that you can do that. And there's four types. There's it's not exactly game modes, but you can play on rookie, ranked, private, and there is local play, so you can do split screen. There's 3 modes, 8-player free for all, which as far as I know you cannot do split screen on, and there's 2 versus 2 domination, where you can play online versus other players, but you can also do split screen, and then also deathmatch, either 1v1 or 2v2, and that you can also do in split screen mode. And the only complaint I have about this game so far is that there is no tutorial to start out with. So I jumped into my first game, and I didn't actually put the first match on here because it was absolutely terrible, because I had no clue what the controls were or anything. So yeah, that's why that's not on here. So yeah, it's a pretty fun game, and right now the modes are a little limited, but as you might have seen in that one box previously, the developers are going to be constantly adding updates and just creating new versions of this game and adding more content. So that's good. So now on to the main event, which is my impressions of the 2014 VGA Awards. This is actually my first time watching them, and I know like last year it was called the VGX Awards, and it was like hosted by Spike TV, and I have heard so much stuff about it. I've seen people commentate on it. But anybody, whether they've seen it or not, if you've heard about it, you know that the last few years, the VGA Awards have been an absolute train wreck, just a piece of crap, and they are not even worth being shown. It's just embarrassing for gamers all around. But this year, Jeff Keighley has totally revamped it and made it for gamers, by gamers, which is what the Game Awards should be. So I'm going to go through the different categories and tell you who won each category, and then I'll kind of share some of my thoughts about some of the new content that they showed, like trailers and stuff. So anyways, first, I got the list off of the Polygon thing, so I checked them off the Polygon.com anyways, and checked them off when I was watching it. So they have it in this order here, but I'm going to skip the game of the year because they have that first. So I'll save that for, actually I'll save the most anticipated game for last, and I'll do the game of the year second to last. Okay, so developer of the year, I'll start with them. Developer of the year was Nintendo. Best independent game was Shovel Knight. Best mobile / handheld game was Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft. The best narrative was Valiant Hearts, The Great War. Best score and soundtrack was Destiny. Best performance was Trey Parker, which he did the voices for all various South Park characters, so it's easy to see why he got that one. Games for Change, which I'm guessing this is supposed to be just games that go against the grain a little bit and are a little more creative. So Valiant Hearts, The Great War won that one. Best Shooter, Far Cry 4. I definitely think it's the best one on the list for the most part. The only one that could even compete with it, I think, is Wolfenstein: The New Order, because Call of Duty wasn't that great. Destiny was an absolute piece of trash. It was so imbalanced and stuff. And Titanfall wasn't bad, but I think overall Far Cry 4 and Wolfenstein definitely outperformed all those. Best action adventure, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Best role-playing game was Dragon Age Inquisition. The best fighting game was Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. That's not surprising. Best family game, Mario Kart 8, and Mario Kart 8 also won Best Sports and Racing Game. The best online experience, which I think this is just a load of crap, but anyways, they nominate, or Destiny won Best Online Experience. I mean, I think every single game, the other nominations were Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Dark Souls 2, Hearthstone, and Titanfall. I think all those outperformed. I think I really have only played Call of Duty Advanced Warfare on there, but like nothing could be as bad of an online experience as Destiny for the most part. Best remaster, Grand Theft Auto 5, which that one is probably, it's by far the best remaster that I've ever seen done. Like, they actually made it worth your extra $60 because they're bringing it to next gen, plus they added a ton of new elements to that game. Most anticipated, oh no, I'm gonna skip that one. Esports Player of the Year was Matt Nadeshot Hag. He plays on Call of Duty. And then the Esports Team of the Year was Ninjas in Pajamas, and they are a Counter-Strike Go team. Trending Gamer. I'll just list off actually the nominees for this one as well. Evan Vanos Fong, Jeff Gerstmann, PewDiePie, Stamp Longhead, and Total Biscuit. And Total Biscuit won that one. In fact, he's the only one that I'm actually following. I was gonna follow Vanos a while ago, but I don't know if I have enough time to keep up with his stuff. And then Best Fan Creation, which goes to Twitch Plays Pokemon by Anonymous. Oh, also they had, they didn't list this on the nominations for it, but I think it's something they might have just selected themselves, like the people who were organizing this. But they had an industry icon, which would be someone who has contributed to the gaming industry in a special way. So the Industry Icon Award goes to Roberta and Ken Williams, and they, one of the most famous franchises, which they are behind the company Sierra. One of the most famous franchises is King's Quest, and there's actually going to be, they handed it down to two other people, I can't remember their names, but they are creating a new King's Quest, and it actually, you know, I've never heard of King's Quest before, but it actually looked pretty decent. And also, I'm not a Nintendo fan, but they introduced a new Legend of Zelda game that's coming out, and it actually looked pretty cool. So, anyways, now I'm going to, I guess I'll announce the Game of the Year now. So, the nominees for Game of the Year were Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls 2, Dragon Age Inquisition, Hearthstone, and Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. So, and as I expected, the winner was Dragon Age Inquisition. I think the only games that really had, you know, potential to, you know, stand up to it would be Dark Souls 2 and maybe Middle-earth, but I think Dragon Age easily took that one. And the most anticipated Game of the Year, I'll give you the nominees for that. Nominees for most anticipated Game of the Year were Batman Arkham Knight, Bloodborne, Evolve, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, and Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. And my personal pick, I kind of almost forgot about Uncharted 4, but I love the Uncharted series, but my personal pick would have been Batman Arkham Knight, but the most anticipated game, the winner, was The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, which is an amazing game still, and that probably would have been my second pick. So I would say I agree with most of the selections on this list. The only ones that, like Nintendo, I can see why Nintendo won Developer of the Year, because they haven't screwed up so many games. And pretty much as far as like the best soundtrack, Destiny definitely deserved that. Voice actor, I could totally see that. Really, I think for the most part they made very good decisions. The gamers voted, and that was what gamers liked, and that's why I tend to agree with them, because it's not really rigged and companies aren't paying them off and stuff like that. I mean, I guess that's possible, but I don't see why. It wouldn't make any sense. Anyway, so let's talk about some content that they shared. So first thing that I thought was absolutely amazing was they showed Metal Gear Solid Online for the very first time. So yes, with Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, they are bringing an online mode into it, and it looked pretty cool. There's even like this mech suit that you can get into, and you can play it pretty tactically as you would expect. So it is like some groundbreaking stuff, at least for the Metal Gear Solid franchise, and I cannot wait for it. Just the game, and especially the multiplayer. That would, to try out something that we've never seen in a Metal Gear game before would be great. So another game, like they had a lot of indie games there, which, they're becoming an important part of the industry now, so you can see why. But one of the ones that really stood out to me was the game Human Element, and it was like a post-apocalyptic game kind of, but it really, a lot of the animations looked like Team Fortress 2 type stuff. But anyways, I'm pretty sure it's going to be an indie game. I mean, it might be kind of like an indie style game by like a AAA developer or whatever, but I think it's an indie game, and it looked pretty good. So other than that, there wasn't anything that stood out too much, but there was some other indie games. Like they showed some more stuff on No Man's Sky, and there's a couple other ones I forgot the name of. A lot of space like oriented indie games. So I thought that was pretty cool. So overall, I would say the VGAs this year were a huge success. Although, like, maybe I was just I missed something because I was talking with my friend when we were watching as well. But I felt like they didn't, like the most anticipated game, I didn't hear them say anything about that. I didn't hear them announce the action-adventure game. So maybe they didn't do that, or maybe they did. A lot of the awards they did really subtly. But anyways, yeah. And the Game of the Year nominees was pretty cool because when they started showing it, they had some musical act that was doing like the soundtrack for the game or something come out on stage and perform live while they do it. So I thought that was cool how they incorporated it into that. Some of that stuff I thought might have been unnecessary in some of the music stuff, but for the most part, I think at least for the nominees, it tied in really well, and it would have been awesome to be there. It was actually more like an E3, I felt, than anything we've seen before. I mean, at least just thank God the Loiter Squad was not there this year. That was just terrible. Oh, it made me facepalm so hard. Now I will present my final verdict, and this will be a letter grade. So, my final verdict for the 2014 VGA Awards, if they indeed did not present some of the category winners, would be a B+. However, as I said before, I'm pretty sure I might not have been paying attention during some of those parts, and most likely that's true. So if that indeed is the case, my final and official verdict for the 2014 VGA Awards is an A-. A good solid grade overall. And it's been way better than years past, and I hope in the future they will also continue to provide us with a good, if not even better, award show. So, that was my take on the 2014 VGA Awards, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. So, until we meet again, this is Black Hawk Thunder, and I'll see you when I see you.